Hi guys, I hope we can get started. Hello guys, welcome to all this session. Thank you for joining us today for this session. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yes.
audible.
Yep. Yep. Thank you for you guys for joining this session. And myself, Karthik, and we are Vanisha. We are going to be the host for this session. Uh, yep. So let's get started. Uh, Vanisha, can you move the next slide? Yes. Before even we begin the session. Just a fun fact that Netflix has converted around 10,000 jobs uh, from their traditional ecosystem to into Jupyter notebooks that runs on paper mills by generating around 1.5 lakhs queries a day. Uh, so just an information. So moving on to the next slide. Uh, yep. So uh, how many of you in the session have been using Jupyter notebook? Uh, okay, probably everyone at least once in their uh, once in the uh, day that we would have used Jupyter notebook. So why the reason we've been using Jupyter notebook is that it is easy to read. We can easily share our thought process. Uh, so it supports various multiple languages and it provides very easy to use interface. So we started adopting Jupyter notebooks for our doing our EDAs and some couple of data science projects. So however Jupyter notebooks comes with list of cons that being that it we are not able to the track the history of the control to be precise, and also it is difficult. It is very difficult to test the unit test the code by using by supplying different parameters. No, it is very hard to parameterize uh, because it so since it has very it is very hard to parameterize. We are not able to configure things and run it on a production level or production grade systems. And one other biggest con in using Jupyter notebook is that it creates mutable document. That is, you cannot pass on to the variables to the uh, to the next notebooks, or you cannot create a live collaboration collaborating between your Jupyter notebooks. So it generates some kind of an mutable document. So so what's a paper mill? Why are we even talking about paper mill? So Manish, can you quickly go to the next slide? Yep. So paper mill is a tool that allows us to parameterize and execute notebooks. Wow, yes. So this paper mill that will create or Jupyter notebooks to actually create parameters and then use the parameters into pass it on to the next notebooks and create some kind of collaboration and create immutable notebooks. So by using paper mills, you can actually transform your Jupyter notebooks into a workflow kind of a tool where you can orchestrate that we want to run job in sequence and achieve multi-threading, so on and so forth. So by using paper mill, actually can automate uh, automate the report generation. Actually, that is one we're going to see in the demo as well. So you can run through an automative no report generation process by using a simple Jupyter notebook. Yes, and guys, please feel free to stop if you have any questions. Then we can uh, close the questions and then move on to. So this is why we we use paper mill by the features of Jupyter Notebook and adding these extensive features so that we can actually run our production systems by using notebooks itself. So, guys, if you have any questions, I'm passing a for questions. Okay, so no questions. I'm going to continue, and you can feel free to pass myself or even Manisha if you have any questions. Uh, so this is basically the programmatical feature of the Jupyter Notebook. On the left, you have the traditional Jupyter server and the UI, where the user develops a code which in the Jupyter UI, the code execution and loads and Python notebook, and the user receives the output in the notebook itself. This is a traditional programmatically of an a Jupyter notebook, whereas in the paper mills, the the code execution goes through and forward the request to an Jupyter kernel, and then kernel manager will uh, forward the requests to the kernel paper mill server, and then paper mill will read and write the uh, a new set of config driven based uh, Jupyter notebook that you can you know uh, parameterize and even can use as an functions. So this flow diagram is actually taken from the Netflix system, where Matthew Seals explains about the whole architecture and the how the notebook, the traditional notebook, as well as the paper mill will work under the hood. If you're more interested, you can actually follow Matthew Seal on his extensive explanation on the how Jupyter Notebook as well as the paper mill will work under the hood. Uh, Manisha, can you go to the previous slide? And if you can take any questions for this slide, happy to answer. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm moving to the next slide. Assuming there are no questions. Yes, this one is up. So, what are the high-level features of paper mill? So, actually, paper mills actually does more.
Yeah, sorry, I was speaking in mute. Can I just continue, Karthik?
Yes, Manisha, I'll pass it on the
Yeah.
session to Manisha.
Okay, so let's have a look at the high-level features that are available in PaperMill. So as Karthik said, there are various features that are not still available in Jupyter Notebook that are supported by PaperMill. So let's have a look at some of the features and have a demo on that. So first is the parameterizing notebooks. The second one is you can execute notebooks from a from a Python script or from a terminal. So that is the execute. And when you're executing notebooks, you can also collect the metrics from various notebooks and then summarize them. So we'll have small demos for each thing, and then a final demo where you can actually trigger the notebooks and then see the output in some other place. So the first one is you have a Python API for PaperMill where you can just give the path to the input, the notebook, and where the output notebook should be saved, and the parameters. So this script is enough for calling the Python notebook, and then you can pass the parameters as a dictionary inside the that are required for the notebook, and then it will automatically execute. And you can also call this Jupyter notebook via a terminal. So let's have a look at an example for this. Okay, so think of a scenario where you have some Excel file that contains just employee name and the just give me a minute, my lap is a bit slow. Yeah, employee name and sales across each employee. And then I want to run a Jupyter notebook. One second. Yeah, run a Jupyter notebook which will just generate a sales report. So without this, just give me a minute. The file name, I have to give the file name over here, the path of the file name, and this code will read the file name and then just plot a graph. So let it be a complicated notebook, but I've just taken a simple notebook over here for reference. And in order to make this notebook parameterized, I have to go to the view, go to the cell bar, and then click here tags. So once I click tags, this column over here will be present, and there I can just put parameters. This means that any variable I'm assigning inside this can be passed from outside. So I've given here file name equal to empty string, and then I'm reading this file name and plotting a graph. So now let's go to the Python script which is going to run. So this is I've just given here I'll give the name of this notebook, parameterize over here. I'm going to give the output which is going to come here as January. So the January report will be generated. I'm going to run the script. So once when I'm running this Python script, you can see that a new IPython notebook has been developed here, January. So this will have the January sales report. If you see here, it has read it'll come as the parameters, the injected parameters January xlsx file, and it'll read and give the output. Similarly, if you want to run a February file, I'll just copy the February file name. I'm going to give the Python script the February file name. Just one second. I'm going to give here. I'm going to run the Python script again. Okay. One second. I'll just check the script once more. Okay, I think so. I've deleted. Yeah, the file has come here. Sorry. You can have a look at the sales February file here. Okay, there's some error. Okay, I'll debug this later. Okay, so now this is the first example. You can parameterize. To look at the second example is you can collect variables across notebook and use it in another notebook. Some of you might be worrying, how can I use a variable that is used in one notebook in another notebook? So let me show an example for that. That is done by using Scrape. So for example, I'm opening a notebook called Save Scrap. So this Scrap, I'm saying 4 variables. I'm importing a library called Scrapbook as SB, and I'm save 4 variables. I'm saving those 4 variables using Glue. Glue is a library that is imported from Scrapebook, and I'm saving variable 1 to variable 4 here. Just running this. So I'm opening another notebook, Access Scrape. And here I'm trying to read the Scrape notebook. And when I'm reading the Scrape notebook, I'm able to access the other variables that are saved there by just giving papermill underscore data frame. So all the variables that are saved there can be used here as data frame. You can also view this scrap as a tuple. Scraps. So it'll give you a class and you can access them. So there are 2 ways to access it, but accessing a data frame will be very easy. So this papermill underscore metrics will give the count of metrics that are saved in that particular notebook. And one more restriction is this read notebook will read only one notebook at a time. And so this feature will be very much helpful when you are running 10 notebooks and finally you want to summarize all the outputs of all the 10 notebooks into a single notebook. Then this notebook will be very much useful, and you can just share the link of this notebook to the client or whoever and is required, and you can get the review of the summary instead of passing all the notebooks and you itself creating the summary. So this is one feature that is very much useful in paper mills. The other feature is, so this is the code. It's like you can use Scrapebook. This Scrapebook was initially incorporated with Papermill itself, but due to certain limitations, they moved Papermill into the saving feature of Papermill into Scrapebook, and you can just import it and use it over here. Another feature that we saw is now you might wonder, I'm passing parameters, I'm able to get data from other notebooks. How can I just productionalize this, or how can I do it for multiple? Every time still I have a manual work that I have to go and change the Python script for all the for example, I was changing, right? I was changing the run papermill.y. I was changing this into sales February. I was changing this into. So instead of changing it here, I'm now going to do something which is very much useful for people who are really doing lots of data exploratory process. So look at this notebook. I'm having a data explorer. So this code will basically read a file from GitHub user content and will just create certain views of the data, exploratory analysis. So now what I'm going to do is I want to perform the same exploratory analysis for a lot of data from the same GitHub user content, and I want to view the outputs at the same place. So when I have this scenario, I have to just copy and paste all this URL, or either I have to uh, run the URL from different, I have to copy and paste the same URL. So instead of doing like that, what I did is I can have a multiprocessing script where I can have the notebook name, the data URL, and the output where should it be saved. So this code, I'm having a config of each data set that is to be read. So this is the bank data set, this is the adult data set, and this is the Titanic data set. So I'm going to perform the data exploratory analysis for all these 3 data sets. And the code will, this code is nothing but I'm importing a multi-processing thread from Python. I'm just running it parallelly. For example, if you see, I'm going to run the script. So there are 3 notebooks that are triggered parallelly, and 3 operations will be done. And if you see here, the output will be stored as Papermill outputs inside the same locality where I've given. Papermill outputs, data explorer, adult, and adult will have the adult data set output. So this will reduce a lot of my effort of each time running a notebook, and it'll be very useful for many people who are trying to do the same process for different data sets each and every time. So this is one of the demo that we try to show. So this can be productionalized by using Docker containers or whatever you want. And with respect to productionizing, Karthik will explain a bit more about it. So let me pause a second for any questions if you have. Or if I'm fast, I can just come once more. Anyone, any questions? Okay. So I'll just give you how to add, I'll create a new notebook and I'll just tell you how to add parameters once more. See, this cell doesn't have a parameter tab. You have to go to view, cells toolbar, and then tags, and you can see add tag over here. So in this tag, if you give parameters, whatever you're entering and click add tag, whatever you're entering inside this can be passed out from outside. So that's the meaning for this parameters. So without this tag, the paper mill won't be able to understand which cell is basically parameterized. So that's it. So Karthik, I think so you can start with the next slide.
Yep, thanks, Manisha. So
Sorry. Yeah.
moving on to the next, functionality, like how to productionize your Jupyter notebook. Yes, so with the help of, thanks to Papermill, with the help of Papermill, we can actually create, uh, we can create a config-driven notebook so that we can actually turn them into a production grade system. We can, commit our paper notebook with paper mills to GitHub, and we can actually create config driven workflows. Uh, Also, we can schedule with schedule the notebooks with cronjob, airflow, or even Lugi for that matter, and all other scheduling tools. Since the paper mill supports command line interface also, we can, schedule with uh, by almost all the platforms like Unix, uh, Windows, and all sorts of schedulers. So, and one more thing is that Vanisha, could you just go to the CLI option? We can just walk through the syntax of how to,
Yeah.
execute command line interface. So actually, we can run paper mill by two ways. One is by using, by sandwiching into an, a code, a Python code, or a notebook. Another is that we can use, just command line interface by calling out that paper mill command, followed by the first parameter of your existing notebook, and second parameter of the uh, no second parameter be the output notebook that we want to create, and dash p is the list of parameter that you want to pass on to the notebook. Here dash p alpha is the uh, parameter name, followed by point 0.6 is the first parameter value, and hyphen dash p is the second parameter indicator, and L1 underscore ratio is your second parameter name, and followed by 0.1 is the second value. By this, actually, you can even run a paper mill by using command line interface.
And
So,
yeah, Karthik. And one more thing is this input and output paths can also be from S3 or AWS or all the, I mean, only 5 storages are available. I think so. This one, name handlers. Karthik will explain more about it. The name handlers that are supported in Papermill.
yep. The name handlers are pretty much is where your input and output uh, notebooks are present. It can be in your even your local system or any file servers. you can do an HTTP request, HTTPS request, and you can store your notebooks in AWS S3, Azure Data Lake, and Blob Storage, and Google Storage. These are the for now only these five handlers are present in the uh, paper mills. And one more important caution is that this paper mill library only supported with Python 3.5 plus versions and is not compatible with their earlier versions. Uh, that's it from my side, Manisha. You have anything?
Yeah, so this paper mill that enhances the option of passing parameters to notebooks is similar to the Databricks notebooks that Azure provides. So if someone is not able to there are lots of features that Databricks notebooks provides, and one of the feature that is covered using an open source project is Papermill, and we tried to cover that to a certain extent. And if you have any questions with respect to this, you can just ask us. So basically, we are done with it. And these are the official documents and the GitHub repos that we referred. And one more thing is like similar to the scrapebook, that's called NB Convert. So I'll just show you NB Convert. NB Convert is nothing but it helps you to convert a notebook into a PDF or an HTML image. So this helps you to like for example, if you want to share a notebook to your client, the client you should be cautious that they don't change the code, right? So you can convert it into a HTML image or a PDF, I mean HTML document or a PDF, and share to the client. So these are all libraries that are supported that are developed in that are developed by Ensteract that supports Jupyter notebooks. So one among them is Papermill, and there are few more like NB Convert also. I felt like this one will be useful. Yeah, so that's it from our side. Anything else? Thank you. If you have any questions, you can just ask now, because there are like some questions that might be useful.
Guys, come on, please.
So yeah, assuming that has no questions.
Guys, if you have questions, and if you have, we can put it in chat also, that we are
Yeah.
happy to.
Now, most of you here will be using Jupyter Notebook. I think so. Like at least a small question from your side can actually enhance us also.
If not questions, if any of you want to touch upon certain slides, want to reiterate some of the things that we are.
Yeah, we are happy to also reiterate certain things. See, Okay.
Okay, if no more questions, I guess we are good to close this session. Thank you guys for attending session. We will put the feedback form for the session in the chat so that you can feedback for us. And if you have any questions, feel free to ping us.
Like, I'm Nerli Vanisha and he's Karthik Veera Raghavan. You can search us, and
You can post us question. We are more than happy
because
to.
most of the people over here, except Venki, we don't know anyone. It'd be better if you talk also. And okay, so I'll share the feedback form, and you can. Yeah, and please fill this form. I've shared the link to everyone. Please fill this form. Mhm. Yeah. So Karthik, that's it from our side. I think so. We don't have any questions.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
Please reach out us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm.